Yo, what's going on, guys? In today's video I want to talk about what I believe is the best build to start playing Torchlight Infinite and what I believe is the fastest way to finish the campaign. And obviously it is just my opinion, but I played a decent amount of builds during the beta, and so far this has been my favorite way to finish the campaign and definitely was the fastest. And the character I'm gonna show you is the Commander Moto, and it is a summoner build that is using the machine guards. And in this video, first thing I want to show you is a map at level 75. This is few hours into the end game, so I want to show you what you can expect when you start doing some maps. And then I want to show you the full leveling experience. Well, not full, just how you should progress this character, and then at the end I want to show you what are some upgrades and progression you should go for when you are gonna reach the maps. Okay, so first thing, when you enter a map, you just summon your guards, so 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and now you just use Leap Slam, and everything just dies on your way up there. And I'm using the Dark Gate and the Machine Army to just buff my minions. So it is a pretty easy playstyle, and definitely the strongest part about this build is the fact that you just constantly deal damage while moving. Well, you are not dealing damage, but your minions are. I'm not gonna be looting anything here because, to be honest, I don't care about looting right now. I just want to show you the map. And yeah, clear is pretty nice, movement speed is pretty nice, and here you can see the single target. Now boss was immune for a second, and pretty soon he's gonna be dead. So single target is pretty nice. Obviously boss didn't die like instantly, but comparable to other builds at this point of the game, I can definitely tell you that single target is pretty nice. Okay, so that was basically the map. Now, before I move on to showing you the leveling, I want to talk about the summoner mechanics, because there are a few things that you need to know when you're gonna be playing a summoner, and these things are actually the biggest reasons why this character is so good at leveling. So first thing, what you'll probably notice is I have two skills which are summon machine guards, and I'm using my right click to summon 3, and you can see the orange number, which basically means that I have maximum amount of them, and I am using Q to summon another 3. So in total I have 6 maximum. And the reason why I am doing that is because 6 is actually the maximum amount of overall minions you can summon, except for the spirits, which I can show you here. So if there are some spirits which are the auras, and they provide you some buffs, for example Frost Spirit, Thunder Spirit, so these are not included in the cap. But for example, if I had one more skill, let's say here, I would change it to, let me search the summon, and I would go for Spider Tank, and I would also summon them. I would only be able to have 6 of them in total. So both machine guards and spider tanks. So for example here I have a mechanical modification which gives the minions a lot of damage, but it's also reducing the amount of minions I can summon by basically halves. So let me remove this gem right now, and you can see that now this number is white, so basically means that I can still summon more of them. But as you can see, when I'm summoning more in this skill, so 6 maximum, here I have 0. When I start using right click, and these are gonna be removed. So like I said, 6 is just overall maximum cap. And this number can be increased by a lot of things. For example, there's one talent, I believe it is not here. It is here, +1 maximum synthetic troop quantity. So without this, I would be able to have 2 and 2. And another thing is mechanical army, which also increases the amount of minions you can summon. But thanks to this, thanks to the amount of minions I can summon, so 6 without the mechanical modification, thanks to the fact that I can just use 2 different slots for the golems, I can use mechanical modification, which is definitely the best skill support in the game for increasing the damage of your minions. But again, it halves the amount of minions you can summon, but it doesn't matter as long as you can use 2 slots. So this is basically the main thing you have to remember, that you can use multiple instances of the same skill, so the same minion, and maximum amount of overall minions is 6. And it is important to know because we are basically gonna build this character around that number and amount of slots you have access to. So now let me move on to the leveling. Okay, so here is the beginning of the game, and as you can see, you have 1 summon machine guard skill and 1 compound potion, which is basically healing and mana regen skill, and all of the other slots are locked. And right now, as you can see, I can summon 1 and 2 minions. But because of what I said about earlier, the fact that you can use multiple instances of the same skill, if you feel comfortable with it, obviously if you are not super safe, you can still use the potion. But what you can do is you can just go into your skills, remove the potion, and change it into another machine guard. You can just buy them for free, install a second one. This one can be supported by, for example, minion damage. Second one will not be, but still it's just big damage increase, and this is the reason why this character is so strong for leveling. Any other build in the game can just use one skill and just damage it, deal damage with it at the same time, and this character can just use multiple instances. So as you can probably imagine, right now I'm gonna summon 2 of them, with my Q, and if I'm gonna unlock the third one, then I can have 6 total. The last one, I mean the fourth one, would not matter that much because at that point we would already have 6. And obviously these ones are not gonna last as much, but you can still keep this amount of them. And eventually I actually probably would focus more on getting mobility skill, which is going to be leap zone. So I'm not gonna go for this because it would take too much time, but definitely you should give this a try. And if you are just not gonna feel comfortable with not having healing potion, you can change back to compound potion. At level 3 you're gonna unlock your third skill slot, which actually gives you a little bit of a choice. You can go either for compound potion to have some sort of ability, you can go for leap attack for mobility, or you can go for third machine guard, which basically would let you use 6 of them already. But to be honest, I don't think at this one you don't need that much damage, so I actually would go for leap attack or potion if you want some survivability, but I actually prefer leap attack for mobility. And 2 machine guards, so 4 in total is actually enough at this point. And they are gonna tank a lot of damage, so I don't think you need compound potion for defense. And the important part about leap attack is that you want to use some kind of mace. It can be either one-handed or two-handed, but when you are gonna get minion damage stat on your weapons, it's most of the time gonna be on a mace or on wands, and with wands you can't use leap attack, so I prefer to use maces. Even when you don't have minion damage stat on them, I still go for them because you can use leap attack. So now you can see how mobile you are. Obviously with not that much attack speed, leap attack is not crazy fast yet, but it's definitely increasing your mobility anyway. Now at level 5 I have the 4th skill slot, so now I am actually gonna I actually prefer leap attack in here, so I am gonna change this one into new summon machine guard, and here I'm gonna put the leap attack. And soon I am actually gonna be able to unlock new slots for more support gems, but that's in a second. And in case you actually also don't know, you can replace the keybinds in here. So for example, if you want to move this skill to here, you can just press in here and go to W and so on. So you can change these freely. And now, as you can see, I can summon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 guards. So I guess I can show you how much damage now I am dealing. So definitely a lot of damage at this point, and this is a very strong point for this character. But as you can see right now, duration is not that crazy, so you have to resummon them from time to time. And definitely don't summon that many of them if you don't need to do that. For bosses, obviously, as you can see, single target is pretty good right now. Boss is already dead. You definitely want 6, but for mapping, when you are just running, you not always need all 6 of them. Now at level 7, I unlocked the second support skill slot, so now I can use 2 minion damages for both machine guard skills, but still not for the third one. But now you actually get access to energy system, which basically means you can spend 10 energy for additional skill slot, for example here or here. Eventually you're gonna be able to spend them here, but not yet. So now this one is gonna be supported by 2 of them, and this one by 1. And in here, what you can go for is either for Steamroll, Mechanical Army, or Precision Strike. And this is gonna be the most amount of damage. Here we're gonna get 17, here we're gonna get 18, but it's also gonna reduce the area. And Mechanical Army is gonna give you +1 synthetic troop, but at that point you don't really care about that. You could technically use Mechanical Army in here, and also in here instead of minion damage. This basically would let you change this slot into the potion for some healing if you feel like doing it. But I don't think I need more healing, so right now I am gonna go for the Precision Strike for more damage and minion damage. So like this, minion damage and Precision Strike. You could also go for Steamroll if you want a little bit more clear, but I don't think it's needed at this point. So again, minion damage, Precision Strike, minion damage, and nothing in here. At level 11, you're gonna unlock 2 things. First thing, you're gonna get the last skill slot. So now you can either go again for the potion for just more damage, or you can go for Machine Army for some damage buff for your minions. But what I actually prefer to go for is Dark Gate. So you can buy it, and it is gonna summon your minions to you, but it also is gonna give your minions 70% increased damage for 2 seconds after you do that. So you want to pretty much just spam it. And now you're gonna have minion damage on every minion, and this one is gonna have Precision Strike. And second thing is you're gonna get your 10th talent point. So at this point, this is how your talent tree should look like. I'm gonna go for the second one here, and you're gonna unlock your first big talent point, and you're gonna go for the orders, which is big damage boost, but also 100% extra summon skill cast speed. So now summoning 6 minions is not gonna be as bad. And now I'm gonna show you basically what I do with the Dark Gate. So now I just press it, and minions are gonna kill monsters immediately. Now I can press it again, and so on. And you just continuously leap through by you press Dark Gate, and when your minions are out of duration, like right now, you just refresh them continuously. And this is basically your gameplay. At level 12, you're gonna unlock the Pact system. So here I'm just gonna go for elemental resistances here and here, and that's basically it. Eventually at level 20 you would go for minion damage, but right now you just can go for resistances, reduce extra damage, the physical damage taken, and so on. You don't really need mana with this build, fortunately. And the second thing is you're gonna get your first aura slot, which I'm gonna go for swiftness. And after we're gonna activate it, we're gonna get some additional movement speed. At level 15, you're gonna unlock your first hero trait. Basically, is gonna increase the effectiveness of overload. And in case you don't know what overload is, it's basically this bar. Whenever it's filled up and you use any minion skill, so Dark Gate or Summon Machine Guard, it is gonna give minions a buff that just increases their damage, and you can see this buff here. So once it's loaded again, let's say now I use Dark Gate, and it is active. So this hero trait is gonna just make it stronger. Also, what I forgot to mention is that at level 15, you can start using quick mobility with your leap attack to move much faster. And another thing, what you can do is you can start using mechanical modification. And actually you don't even need mechanical army, you can still go for minion damage here and here. And here you can also go for mechanical modification, so ×3. This way you're only gonna have 3 minions, but they are actually much stronger. And I guess I can show you in here how strong they actually are. And also you're gonna you're not gonna have to summon as many minions anymore. Now you only need to summon 3 of them. So you can see they are one-shotting pretty much everything, except for obviously elites and stuff like that. But normal monsters are gonna be one-shotted, and elites are still dying pretty fast. And eventually you are gonna increase this number to 2. You just need more levels on your minions, and eventually you're gonna have 6 big minions. Now we are at level 20, and this is the most important level. Because now, up until this point, I could summon 3 big guys, and now, when you go to talents, and you select your 20th point, which by the way should be this, basically this is how your tree should look like at this point, you're gonna get +3 to minion skill gems. And thanks to this, you're actually gonna be able to summon 1 more minion if you are also using the mechanical army. Before that, I don't know exactly what is the math behind it, but basically this gives a +1 and +2 minions somehow gives enough to minion level that you actually get 2 instead of 1. So now you should replace your second skill, so minion damage, with the mechanical modification. Not mechanical modification, with the mechanical army. So this one, and here unfortunately I don't have the second slot yet, so in 7 levels you're gonna be able to have 6 of them. Now just 5, which is definitely more than enough. So that's the first important thing. Second thing is you're gonna unlock the second tree, which you are gonna go for God of Machines. So now you're gonna progress this and get more damage and so on. So you're gonna stop, at least for now, leveling in here. You're gonna put all of your points in Machinist. And next thing is in Pact, you are gonna unlock this side of the tree. So now you can remove all of these points and you can go for more damage. And this is gonna be 15% minion damage per point. So this is actually a lot of the minion damage. So that's another thing. And the last thing is, I don't know if I forgot about it or you actually can just start using it at level 20, is changing your swiftness aura to spirit. You can go for either thunder, frost or flame, it doesn't really matter, you only care about having additional spirit for more damage, and I actually prefer to go for thunder as the first one. It's gonna reserve some mana, and then at 24 you're gonna go for the ice, and then at 41 you can go for swiftness, and this should be your aura setup. And again, it says level requirements, its requirement is 12, but for some characters certain skills unlock later, so I am not sure if you can actually start using it at 12 or at level 20, but definitely you can start using it at level 20, and then at 24 you're gonna use another one. So yeah, this is basically your setup, and from that point on you basically are gonna just continue using this. So machine guard with mechanical army and modification, second one same thing, third one eventually you're gonna go for another mechanical, maniacal army, Lipslam with quick mobility, and Dargate. You are gonna go for extended duration at level 28. And for auras, again, Thunder Spirit, Ice Spirit, and Swiftness. And that's basically your setup. And I wanted to mention it right now because, again, you're not gonna change pretty much anything up until endgame, so I wanted to mention all of it right now. And now I am gonna move on to my endgame character, so I'm basically gonna show you what you should go for eventually. Okay, so now I am on my endgame character, so let me show you what your progression should look like after level 20. So first let me start with talent tree. So again, here you're gonna get these 20 points, 3 minion levels, and summon cast speed. With Machinist, you're gonna go first for just 18 points in here, so you're gonna go for these minion damage nodes, these minion attack speed nodes, minion crit, minion damage in here, and minion radius for your guards. Then physical damage, and here +1 to synthetic troop skill level, so you're gonna go for 24 points actually, not 18, so up to 24. You're probably not gonna have these points, and these points at the bottom, and you're gonna go for +1 synthetic troop. So this is gonna be +1, and this is gonna be +1 level, so it's different thing. This is just increasing their level, and this is increasing their quantity and also duration. Eventually, with 36 points in here, you probably are just gonna go for burning aggression. And the third tree is gonna be alchemist. You can also go for there is a physical tree, I don't remember the name, but there is a physical one. It also gives minion damage, but I did test both of them. I think they are very similar, so I actually prefer to go for alchemist. And here you also get more minion damage, minion attack speed, minion crit, resists later if you need points to go further, and some movement speed, and then at the end minion damage and physical damage converted to a random element. And big points you're gonna go for regen, and this actually should be enough to give you enough regen to the point that you just don't need any defenses. As long as you have your resist cap, so 75, this is actually a pretty good source of defense and also mana regen. And for the other points, like you can see here, after that, basically once you get the 24 points in here and here, then you're gonna go for Machinist and get all of the defensive nodes, so maximum life, regen, and so on. So that's basically talent tree, and after the 36 points here, I also would go for some defensive nodes like life in here, regen, and yeah, that's basically it. So that's talent points. In terms of skills, this is how your endgame setup should look like. So mechanical modification and maniacal army, again for 3 minions, because now with the talent you're actually gonna again I'm gonna show you with this talent you're gonna have +1 quantity, so you're gonna be able to summon 3 instead of 2. So now you no longer need a third one. So now maniacal modification, maniacal army, mechanical modification, maniacal army, steamroll for more damage and area, and crit. I actually would suggest going for Assault Command at the beginning. From what I tested, Assault Command and crit damage are very similar, but you might as well start leveling critical damage, because once you get your hero trait, this one, during overload, minions have 365% critical strike rating, and with this, your minions are gonna have insane chance for critical strike, and because of that, critical damage is actually a lot of damage increase for them. So that's why I prefer to go for this. Otherwise, you can just go for Assault Command. Both of them are pretty nice, but again, I just prefer to start leveling it. And the same setup for the second one. And for the last skill point, I probably would go for Assault Command or the where is it? Precision Strike. Precision Strike is gonna be more damage, but it also is gonna reduce your area, so it depends what you want. If you want more damage, go for Precision Strike. If you want more clear and still decent damage, go for Assault Command. And it's also gonna increase the aggressiveness of minions, which also helps with clear. Third skill, Machine Army with extended duration, Mass Effect, cooldown reduction. And the order should be Mass Effect first, then extended duration, then cooldown reduction. Leap Slam with Leap Attack with quick mobility and then Harden It, and Dark Gate with extended duration and cooldown reduction. Eventually, your spirit damage is gonna fall off because spirits deal elemental damage, and most of the damage, well, not most of them, but some of them only increase physical minion damage, and because of that, their damage is not gonna be that great. Also, you're not gonna support them, so eventually you should swap to auras, and I would do that pretty much when I would reach the end game, so around level 50-60, and then you're gonna swap to weapon amplification for extra physical damage and attack speed, and fearless for critical strike chance and damage. And third one, swiftness. An important thing about swiftness is that you shouldn't really level it up above, I would say, level 13, maybe even level 10, because if you level it up more, it's gonna seal more of your mana, and as you can see, I don't have that much mana, so you should have a little bit of your mana left so that you actually can cast your skills. So for me, I personally think 13 is a good point. And here is how my energy looks like. Eventually, obviously, I would go for 100 here and here. And I would probably even sacrifice like 2 points in here, 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 if I am gonna be able to get 100. And in case you don't know, the way to get more energy points after you are gonna finish the campaign is through gear. So you can see here, for example, this helmet gives me 21 energy, and this is basically the energy you need to get more skill points. So last thing is the gear, and basically in terms of gear, like I already mentioned, you don't really need anything except for just some resists, life, and armor. That's basically it. Eventually with a summoner, I actually would probably prefer to go for an energy shield, because energy shield has pretty good recovery, and with this build you actually would prefer to have some nice recovery, because we don't have any healing skill, so energy shield should be pretty nice, but getting full gear with energy shield and resist and so on should be hard, so I would just start with life version. And again, you just go for a lot of armor, life, resists. If you can get it, try to get some minion damage. I believe you can get it on a helmet and rings, but it is not needed. Like you can see, I don't have it either here or here. And also a little bit of life regen on any piece of gear is pretty nice, just to help you with your recovery. And for the weapons, I highly suggest going for Interlocking Soul. It requires only level 15, so if you can get it during the campaign, that would be crazy good. And you can equip 2 of them, and they are gonna give you up to 120% minion damage, so 90% here, 30% here, depending on your role. So 120 is definitely a lot compared to any other, like a normal hammer. I guess I don't have one right now to show you, but most of the time you're gonna get like 30-40 minion damage, so 120 is a lot. Strength and Int is also pretty good, because you have a talent point that increases minion damage and minion crit depending on your strength and int, so it also helps. And obviously minion life, minion duration, and minion life regen is also just nice to have. but it's not really needed. But the downside of having this weapon is that you're gonna consume 5% of your maximum life when you're gonna use minion skill. And if you have 2 of them, that's gonna be 10%. But to be honest, you don't really even feel that, because you're just gonna cast your skill 3 times, second skill 3 times, and then you just run through the map. So your recovery is just gonna cover for that, and then you're good. Eventually, just from time to time, you're gonna cast Dark Gate and Machine Army, which is gonna cost you a little bit of life, but you're gonna recover it pretty fast, so you're not gonna feel the effect of that weapon that much. So again, that's the gear that you just go for. Most important thing, interlocking souls, everything else just resists, and eventually you're gonna go for some minion damage on some pieces of gear. In terms of hero traits, Order Calling, then Charge Forward, Veteran, and Brother in Arms. Eventually, once you're gonna get go for Broke, minions are gonna lose 60% of your life when you're gonna use it, so I actually would prefer to go for this one, because this is gonna give your minion damage depending on how much life they are missing. So if this is gonna make them have less life, this is gonna be pretty nice. I would actually go for it. And they are gonna be tanky enough, they are not gonna die. And in here, to be honest, both of them are very good. I would have to test more to see which one is actually better, but more duration is pretty nice for this effect, to just have a lot of crit for a longer amount of time. But here you're gonna get a lot of overload effect and critical strike rating, but you already have a lot of it, so maybe just going for Charge Forward is straight up better. And in terms of pacts, you should just go first for all of the minion damage points here, so all of the small ones, medium ones, and then big one, and after that just go for the drops in here or resists in here if you feel like you need them. Eventually, if you have them, you can go for snails, and these are gonna transform these points into minion damage and minion cast speed points. So you can see here 15% minion damage, 4% minion cast speed, and so on. So thanks to these, you're gonna be able to go for them. So that's basically what I did with Pact points. And yeah, that's basically it. Just to sum things up, I think this character is extremely good to start things up. You should reach level like 80 probably during first day if you're gonna play a lot. And what I'm probably gonna do is I'm gonna play this character, and then I'm gonna try to get some gear and then play something else, because I do believe during beta the best character with a lot of gear was Berserker with Whirlwind, but that build requires pretty good amount of gear, so I personally wouldn't start with it. It is probably still pretty good to start with it, but it's just crazy good with a good gear. It has been nerfed, especially gear required for this build has been nerfed, but I still believe Berserker Whirlwind should be extremely good, so that's the build I would work towards. But for this video, that's gonna be it. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.